The Chronography of 354, also known as the Calendar of 354, was a 4th century illuminated manuscript, which was produced in 354 AD for a wealthy Roman Christian named Valentinus. It is the earliest dated codex to have full-page illustrations. None of the original has survived. The term Calendar of Filocalus is sometimes used to describe the whole collection, and sometimes just the 6th part, which is the calendar itself. Other versions of the names are occasionally used. The text and illustrations are available online. Amongst other historically significant information, the work contains the earliest reference to the celebration of Christmas as a holiday or feast. Transmission from antiquity. The original volume has not survived, but it is thought that it still existed in Carolingian times by the 7th–8th centuries. A number of copies were made at the time, with and without illustrations, which in turn were copied at the Renaissance. The most complete and faithful copies of the illustrations of the pen drawings in a 17th century manuscript from the Barberini collection, Vatican Library, Cod. Barberini Lat. 2154. This was carefully copied, under the supervision of the great antiquary Nicholas Claude Fabry de Perisque, from the Carolingian copy, a Codex Luxembourgensis, which was itself lost in the 17th century. These drawings, although they are twice removed from the originals, show the variety of sources that the earliest illuminators used as models for manuscript illustration, including metalwork, frescoes, and floor mosaics. The Roman originals were probably fully painted miniatures. Various partial copies or adaptations survive from the Carolingian Renaissance and Renaissance periods. Botticelli adapted a figure of the city of Tiberias who grasps a bound barbarian by the hair for his painting, traditionally called Pallas and the Centaur. The Vatican Barberini manuscript, made in 1620 for Perisque, who had the Carolingian Codex Luxembourgensis on long-term loan, is clearly the most faithful. After Perisque's death in 1637, the manuscript disappeared. However, some folios had already been lost from the Codex Luxembourgensis before Perisque received it, and other copies have some of these. The suggestion of Karl Nordenfalk that the Codex Luxembourgensis copied by Perisque was actually the Roman original has not been accepted. Perisque himself thought the manuscript was 700 or 800 years old when he had it, and, though Mabillon had not yet published his De Re Diplomatica, the first systematic work of paleography, most scholars, following Shapiro, believe Perisque would have been able to make a correct judgment on its age. For a full list of manuscripts with copies after the originals, see the external link. Contents. Furius Dionysius Philocalus was the leading scribe or calligrapher of the period, and possibly also executed the original miniatures. His name is on the dedication page. He was also a Christian, living in a moment that lay on the cusp between a pagan and a Christian Roman Empire. The chronography, like all Roman calendars, is as much an almanac as a calendar. It includes various texts and lists, including elegant allegorical depictions of the months. It also includes the important Liberian catalogue, a list of popes, and the Calendar of Filocalus or Filocalus, also known as the Filocalian calendar, from which copies of 11 miniatures survive. Among other information, it contains the earliest reference to Christmas and the dates of Roman games, with the number of chariot races. The contents are as follows. All surviving miniatures are full-page, often combined with some text in various ways. Part 1, Title page and Dedication 1 miniature. Part 2. Images of the personifications of the cities of Rome, Alexandria, Constantinople and Trier, 4 miniatures. Part 3. Images of the emperors and the birthdays of the Caesars, 2 miniatures. Part 4. Images of the 7 planets with a calendar of the hours, 5 surviving miniatures. Copies of the emblematic drawings appear in a Carolingian text that portrays Mercury and Venus in heliocentric orbits. Part 5. The signs of the zodiac. No miniatures surviving in this manuscript. 4 in other copies. Part 6. The Filocalian calendar. 7 miniatures of personifications of the months in this MS. The full set appears in other copies. Part 7. Consular portraits of the emperors. 2 miniatures. Part 8. List of the Roman consuls to AD 354. Part 9. The dates of Easter from AD 312 to 411. Part 10. List of the prefects of the city of Rome from 254 to 354 AD. Part 11. Commemoration dates of past popes from AD 255 to 352. Part 12. Commemoration dates of the martyrs, which begins with 8 Cal. Ian, Natus Christus in Betlem. Part 13. Bishops of Rome, the Liberian Catalogue. Part 14. The 14 regions of the city. Part 15. Chronicle of the Bible. Part 16. Chronicle of the City of Rome.